back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking to watch this video. If this is your first time here, you're most welcome, and if you're coming back to another one of my videos, thank you. We're going to be testing out some new drugstore products from L'Oreal. I have here their new Infallible 24-hour fresh wear foundation. So the two shades I have are Espresso and Amber, and I just picked up both of them because one of them looks like it was going to be too dark. Hopefully it's not. And this one that's a shade down from this one looks like it was going to be a little bit too on the orange side. So I figured I could mix them both together to get my perfect shade if one or the other doesn't work out for me. And I picked up their new concealers as well. This is their new full wear concealers, and I picked up the shades Chestnut and Honey, and they're very much on the cool tone end of the spectrum. I noticed that they had a translucent powder as well, and I've never tried out their translucent powders before, so I'm gonna go ahead and give this one a try. And picked up the shade medium. They also have a stick foundation, so I figured since I picked up the liquid, I picked up these foundations to do my face. I wanted to try this one for contouring, so I picked up the darker shade, and this one is in the shade Espresso. I also saw that they had their own beauty sponge. I picked this up, and it's called their Blend Artist Infallible Sponge. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this a try. And the last thing I ended up picking up from their line is their Infallible Pro Spray and Set. This is what that looks like. So very excited about this because the mister seems very promising. So I'm excited to see how this works out on the face. It smells a lot like my Wet n Wild setting spray. Now that thing is amazing, but I'll see how this one works out. So I've already done my eye makeup because I am actually in the middle of filming another video. So if you guys see me looking the same in another video, that's because I'm filming two videos in one, trying to be productive today. So I didn't think about picking up a primer from them. So for primer today, I'm just going to go ahead and use the Rimmel Stay Matte Mattifying Primer. I'm almost out of this. This is like my holy grail primer right now. I love this thing. It's a really nice primer from the drugstore. I really recommend it. I know it's not the product that I'm reviewing in the video today, but I think it's worth talking about because it's a really nice primer. I love the fact that it's more of a lotion based primer and it's mattifying. So there, I just feel like it works really well with every foundation that I've used it with. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and get the beauty sponge dampened. It actually feels really soft. It's not. Alright, so I'm back and I got the beauty sponge dampened. It grew a lot and it's extremely soft, so I'll say that this is actually a nice sponge so far. So the foundations doesn't have any obvious claims on the bottle. So apart from it saying that it's supposed to give you up to 24 hours fresh wear and that it has sunscreen in it, it doesn't really give any other claims about the foundation. So I'm going to have to pull that up on my phone to see if, let me go on the Ulta website to see if they have it in online and see. Okay, so I found some claims on the Ulta website. It's saying that it gives you up to 24 hours fresh staying power. It's a long-lasting foundation with their most lightweight breathable texture. It's waterproof, transfer resistant, and sweat resistant. It's also medium to full coverage, and it's buildable. So that's all the claims, which sounds good. I'm all in for a medium to full coverage foundation. This shade right here is Espresso, and I'm going to go ahead and just put a pump. Oh, that's what Espresso looks like. It's kind of has like a red undertone. Here we have, alright, and so here we have, this is what, Deep Amber. Okay, so Deep Amber looks a little bit warm, has like a red undertone. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm going to mix both of them together on the face. I'm going to use a brush on one side and I'm going to use the beauty sponge on the other side to blend out the foundation. Alright, so I like to get my brush a little bit dampened before I use it to blend out foundation. And we're going to do the brush side first. And I'm using the Luxie 360 Pro Precision Face Brush. I got this in BoxyCharm or BoxyLux. Undertone for me, I feel like is what's throwing off the shade. The shade itself, I think from looking at the bottle, Espresso should definitely match me, but the undertone of both of these foundations are red. So I might need to take them back and get me a shade that's, I don't know what shade I'm going to get, but so let's get past the fact that this is not my foundation shade, but let's look at let me talk about the foundation itself right now. It's actually doing really nice. I love the way it blended out. It looks like your skin but better, so I really like that so far. And I love the way it blended out with the brush. Actually, the brush did really nicely at blending it out. So that's the way it looks with the brush. And it's not looking cakey in any place. It did blend out really nicely. And this is a nice brush. It's not leaving any streaks or anything. It's just blending out really, really well. And I think the foundation did really nicely with the brush. So let me go ahead and try it out now with the beauty sponge. I'm just going to use the bottom of the sponge and blend. Wow, that's actually really soft. It doesn't feel like it's hurting my face at all. And the foundation is blending in so easy and seamlessly. And I feel like it's taking less time than the side with the brush. That's nice. Wow. I don't know, I think I like both finishes. I like the side with the beauty sponge just as much as I like the side with the brush. Looking at them, I really can't tell a difference as to whether or not I used a sponge or a brush on one side. However, I will say that the brush side, the brush the brush side does look a little bit more matte than the beauty sponge side, but other than that, I think I got the same finish. It looks like a medium coverage more than anything. I didn't get the full coverage, and it wasn't like a light coverage because it is covering up like my acne scarrings that I have here. So it did do a little bit of covering. You can still lightly see it through, but that's not a big deal for me because I do actually like my foundations to look skin-like. So far, the foundations aren't bad at all. Alright, so we're gonna move into concealing, and I have two of the concealers here. This is what the packaging on the concealer looks like. It's really nice, nothing too crazy. Okay, so it's supposed to give you full coverage. It's supposed to be waterproof, transfer resistant, fade resistant. This is supposed to be a full coverage concealer, so we're gonna go ahead and apply it and see how it works. So this is what the wand looks like. It's a nice, large, and in charge wand. So I'm gonna go ahead and swatch this on the back of my hand. I think this is in the shade Honey. Yes, this is the shade Honey. It's a nice cool toned shade, like nice cool undertone. And then we have the shade Chestnut. They really don't have a smell to them. Oh, okay. I think I'm going to try to go in with Chestnut because it's a little bit, it's darker than Honey. So I'm going to go in with Chestnut first, and if I need to add a little bit more brightness under my eye, then I'll add in some of Honey. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and just add a little bit of honey under the eyes. I'm going to go in with a brush under one eye and the beauty sponge under the other to blend out the concealer. So I'm going to start off with this eye. Oh, I think I put on way too much because it definitely is full coverage. So yeah, note to self, a little bit goes a long way. I definitely put on way too much. But it's blending out really nicely. It's not very hard to blend. I'm just trying to help it. Okay. That doesn't look too bad. Okay. So I'm gonna take a brush and blend out the other side just to see how this works with a brush versus a beauty sponge. Alright, so this is the side that I used the brush to blend out, and even though it blended out really easily and nicely with the brush, but I have to say that I like this side with the beauty sponge better. I just think it gave me a more natural finish. Even though I put so much product down, it kind of helped to soften it out and blend it out, and it just looks a little bit more skin-like, whereas on this side it just really helps. This really looks cakey and thick. So I feel like I'd rather use a beauty sponge. So I'm just going to take the sponge to go back over this eye, under this eye, and just blend it further just to kind of help to soften that. But I really like the sponge. Okay. So I love the coverage on the concealer so far. So to do my cream contouring, I'm going to use the foundation stick, their infallible longwear shaping stick, which is this one right here. Again, I got the shade Espresso, and I'm going to just use it on a brush. That's how much product you get in here. Take this fire brush, it's the 30F. I got this in Ipsy Plus, and I'm going to use it to just pick the product up. That's how much product comes out. It feels super creamy, and I'm going to just place it into the areas I want to contour. Okay, that blended out really nicely. It wasn't hard to blend at all. So far everything in this video is working really well, especially this foundation stick. It blended out so seamlessly. It blended out really nicely, and you guys can see it just gave me like a nice little shadow on my cheeks to just lightly contour me. I'm very happy with that, so I'm definitely going to keep using this. I think it did really nicely. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take the bottom of the beauty sponge that I used with the foundation and just go over my entire face to just blend out any lines. Alright, so I'm gonna go in now with the translucent powder in medium, and this is their perfecting loose powder. It does come with a little poof in here, but I'm not going to use that. I'm just going to tap off some product into the lid. That's what the powder looks like. Actually, I'm going to go back in with the same brush that we used. It's going to blend under the eyes a little bit. So that's what the finishing powder is looking like. The concealer is creasing so bad under my eyes. I don't know that you probably need to set it right away, but I don't know, it looks so creasing under my eyes. But other than that, it did cover. I don't know if that's the powder, but my under eyes don't look very good at all right now. So I'm going to set the rest of my face real quickly. I'm going to use the L'Oreal True Match Super Blendable Powder to set my entire face. I'm going to go ahead and finish up my eyes, and I'll be back to test out the setting spray. So I finished up the rest of my makeup, and all that's left to do is to test out the setting spray. So let's go ahead. So I actually like this setting spray. I love the way the mist is. It didn't have any big drops on my face. It was very evenly distributed, so I like that about it. It does have a faint smell to it though, so if you're somebody that's very sensitive to smell, you might not like it. I think it's nice so far, basically because you do get a good bit of product in here. It's not too expensive, and the fact that the mister is so fine and even, I do think that gives it a A+ for me. But I'd have to see how it does at holding up the makeup, but I do like it so far. I'm just going to do like a simple small little wear test just to see how the products wear so far. I'm actually not going anywhere, so I'm just going to be around the house doing a little bit of stuff. So I'll check back in later on in the afternoon or later on tonight to let you guys know my final thoughts. I have to say that everything, I think, is working pretty good. It's holding up the way it says it should. I love how the products actually applied. So the only thing I was concerned about was if the powder was going to give me any flashback, and in this picture it doesn't look too bad. That's it for this portion of the video. I'll see you guys later on to let you guys know how everything held up or how everything is. The makeup for about 5 hours. This is what it is looking like right now. And looking at myself, it doesn't look terrible, but I am definitely oily. I'm definitely oily. You see that my right here in my T-zone, where I do typically tend to get the oiliest, is like at its most oiliest. The concealer under my eye hasn't creased any much more than it was creasing earlier before, so I think the under eye is fine, but I am like all over, just all over oily. So before I give you guys my final thoughts on everything, I'm just going to kind of rectify this grease ball that's going on right here, and I have some like paper towel sheets right here that I'm just going to use to blot the oil from my face, so I could see, you know, the transfer proof situation. It's time for bed, so I'm not gonna add any powder. I just wanted to blot a little just to kind of remove some of that oil. But apart from me becoming really oily, and that's mainly because I do have oily skin, and I typically tend to get oily, you know, 2-3 hours into my makeup. It doesn't really matter how much I prep my skin and stuff like that. I do tend to have my oils peek through within 2 to 3 hours of my makeup wear, so I typically always have to blot. But this time I didn't do any blotting, so maybe I looked extra oily right now because I didn't do my regular check-ins and blotting throughout my makeup wear. But I just didn't want to touch the makeup or do anything to it. I just wanted to see what it did, just because I am trying to do a review of this foundation and the different products I use. So I really think the foundations are nice. They held up really well. Even though I blotted, I didn't get any patchiness or anything. It wasn't lifting. The staying power is really nice. I love the fact that even after blotting and even after the long wear, my skin does still look like my skin. It doesn't look cake. I like it. I really do like the foundation, and I definitely have to pick up my right shade in it, even though I don't think that this shade looks terribly bad on me, but I definitely know that this is not my shade. I do like the concealers. I think they did very well. The coverage was really nice. They blended out really easily. I just think that you have to set them. If you're going to set them, you do have to set them right away, because you let them sit, it starts to settle into your lines under your eyes. Because once I finished blending these, it looked so seamless and so smooth under the eyes, but I had let it sit for just a few minutes so that I could go ahead and contour my face. And when I came back to set it, I noticed that I was having fine lines, but it does dry down, so it was kind of hard to get those lines to disappear once it was already setting. So you do want to bear that in mind if you do end up picking these up. That's something that I'm going to have to correct the next time, but I still really do like it. I think the wand is really nice. It picks up just the amount of product that you need to apply to all over the face. It doesn't have any chemically smell. With all of that said, I do think it's a good concealer if you are looking for something that's absolutely full coverage from the drugstore, that's, you know, pocket friendly. Then this is something that you might want to give a try. Foundation stick, I loved it for contouring. I think it did really nicely. I'm not seeing it as much on my cheeks anymore. It's not showing up as bright as it was earlier. You could barely see it there. I don't know if it's picking up on camera, but I barely noticed it. I just feel like everything just kind of melted into my face. So I don't think that this is the most long wearing formula, but one first application, it was really nice. I just think maybe I just need to set it down a little bit more in place. I didn't go in and powder contour today, so that might be the reason why I didn't set it down properly. I just kind of bronzed lightly over the area, but I do think that it was really nice on first application. I love the way it blended, so I will still continue to use it. I just don't think it gives you that long of a wear, because I'm really not seeing any type of contouring action going on in my cheek area. So yeah, and then I have the powder. Now this I was kind of not sure about, and I'm still not sure about it. I'm going to have to try it out some more. It's supposed to be translucent, but I do think that it gave me like a nice little white cast, but I did end up, you know, taking care of that. I do, however, think that it's a nice finely milled powder. It's not my favorite, but it did the job for today. I don't think it did very well at, you know, keeping my oils at bay, but other than that, it's just nice for a light setting under the eye. It did pretty good, I think, but not my favorite product that I tried out. The beauty sponge, absolutely amazing. It's super soft. I think this is one of the best beauty sponges that I've tried. It's extremely soft and it blends really well and it does the job, and I'm going to continue to use it because I think it's amazing. Then the last thing that we tried out today was the makeup extender setting spray, and I have to say that I don't know if I like this, because after putting it on, it took a while for it to completely dry down, and even after it dried down, before I applied it to my face was looking very matte, but after I applied this, it kind of gave me like a nice dewy finish, and it just, I felt like it wouldn't dry down matte. Maybe I just need to test it out some more and see, but I don't think that I am completely sold on this setting spray as yet, because I do feel like it left me looking a little bit more dewy and glowy than I would like to be. That's it. I hope this video was helpful. If you guys are thinking about picking up any of these products, you kind of have an idea of what to expect. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.